Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for showing up on the day. I am recording this, so if anyone misses it live and you're listening on the replay, you'll realize I recorded it too. So if you have to hop out early or miss any of it, I probably will take about 10-15 minutes and then open it up for questions at the end and any feedback. And if you want to kind of hold your questions off till I get through my part, I might answer them throughout. If not, I'll check the chat box as I go through a bit. But I want to say thank you. This team is so special and amazing. I feel like whenever we ask you to show up and come for something new or something exciting, or just I never miss a Monday, this team knows how to show up. And so I'm here with exciting news. And I actually want to just start by sharing I'm a little bit nervous, and I love it because I was listening to a Mel Robbins podcast. I love Mel Robbins. And she talked about when she took her latest book, Let Them, on tour, how there's a whole section in this podcast about how, and I think this is important to share here, when something makes you nervous or, a little bit scared or excited, those excited nerves, I teach my kids this too. It means you care. It means you've got skin in the game. It means that it matters to you. And so I think that's such an important emotion to not hide from in your own life. So maybe some of the things I talk about tonight are going to make you, feel a little bit excited or maybe nervous about some of the new things we're bringing. But I encourage you, that is a good thing. It is good to get outside our comfort zone. If we're not continuing to grow, we're going the opposite way, and there is no age limit on growth. It is proven when we have purpose, we are going to fare better in life. So we're turning VFit into belly dancing, booty shaking, and ballroom. I was joking with the trainers. Totally kidding. None of those. Actually, I guess we got booty shaking and dance. But we're making some exciting evolutions at VFit. And I love, and I'm going to say what that word evolves means. VFit is going on 10 years. Some of you have been here close to that full 10 years. Some of you have come in the last couple years or year. Is there anyone super brand new here? Not right now, but if you're listening, or maybe you're not a VFitter yet, I want this message to go out to everyone. One thing I have always taken as one of the core values at VFit is to serve, serve, serve. Like, what can we do? This trainer team has so much experience, so much knowledge, so much passion for what we do. And how can we actually help people change their lives? And I mean it for the long term. Like, it breaks our heart when someone gives up, or we find out that they're hurt or injured or going through a health scare, and we didn't know because we could have helped. Like, I have yet to have a situation in 10 years, and that we've seen a lot of some really hard stuff that someone shared about that we were not able to help them through. The same token, we've also helped people who are ready to throw in the towel or give up get through that roadblock. So with that being said, know that our heart and passion is your long-term health. And 3 words keep coming to mind. This has kind of been a stirring in my heart for the last year or so. I feel in decade increments, big shifts happening in your life, personal life, professional life. If you look at your kids, it doesn't have to be necessarily 10, 20, 30, but in that decade period, I feel like we're given an opportunity to grow in big ways and to let go of what's not working and to try new ideas. And so that's where we're at. When I look back personally to where I was when I started VFit, I was in my early 30s. I had 2 small kids. I didn't even have Kinley. My life looked totally different. Where I was physically, mentally, spiritually was completely different. And that is the same for everybody else here, every trainer on the team, all the members. We are constantly evolving and growing. And the cool thing that's really happened a lot in the last 10 years is more science and research on women. This is really, really important. And I didn't set out VFit to be a women's only, and it's still, we got our papas. We're not losing our papas. We got Tucker, Papa Peter, Richard. But the reality is our trainer team are all women. 99% of our members are women. And there are certain areas of health that we need to look at differently. We put on muscle differently. We have different hormones. We have different So this has been an area of a lot of interest for us trainers, as well as we have continued to grow in our own health journey and lives, and finally having access to some of this research that can be really overwhelming, right? You all have your own jobs and lives and things to deal with. And so I believe it's really important to have coaches and mentors as the experts that are getting poured into. We invest heavily in coaches at VFit for ourselves, and that then can go into you. So with that being said, these three words keep coming to my heart. And it was so cool because I posted the that list of words in the Facebook group. And I didn't tell you even that I had three words, or I was trying to see if you all had the same three words as me. But we posted that long list of words, and actually four hit the top. But the first word by unanimous consent that came up was this word strength. And I'll go into this a little bit more, what these words mean. So I loved it. That was my word. My second word was longevity. So I'll go into what these all mean in a second here. And my third word was vitality. So those made the top three. And then thank you all who also voted for convenience, because I think that's super important at VFit. I know sometimes you want longer workouts, but really I've been doing this online training even before VFit. I used to do personal training online. 30 minutes is really a magical amount of time, even 10 minutes, right? We have our 10 Fit program. 30 minutes, it's sustainable. It actually changes your body, your mind, your resilience. And the way we do the schedule, you can do more if you have more time. And so that brings me to the word. As I was working with the trainer team, and we've been working really hard behind the scenes on this, all in congruence, on the same page, really, really excited about this. And again, this is not a major change. This is an evolution. We're hoping that you're excited about some of these changes I'm about to share. All the things that you love are most likely still going to be here for you too. It's just, I'm changing the buffet a little. We got to change up our buffet. So I want to start with what it means to evolve. And then I added an S at the end because I had to use the word strength. So VFit evolves right now. And you're all going with me on this. Because when I level up, like I think about, man, if I was the same person and coach that I was when I started VFit 10 years later, like that would not be a good thing. That was a good thing back then. I started it. We've been amazing. We have an incredible team. But it's okay to evolve. VFit evolves. So what does evolve from a dictionary standpoint mean? It means to change or develop into a better, more complex, or more advanced state. So I don't know about you. One thing I love about our team and our core value system is I've never and will never be about calories and weight and inches and things of that sort. But we are about vitality and strength and longevity. And that comes with taking care of your body. It might look different in different sizes and shapes. And you all know, let's be real, there's times where we deserve to feel good in our skin too. And so that comes with, continuing to progress. So when I broke down the word evolves, the E, of course, is for evolve. And the point is that growth is the goal. You're not meant to stay the same. You're meant to rise, shift, and become. Now, the V is for vitality. See how cool did this work that these words even fit into this word? It's all so cool. See, I'm excited. Vitality. Okay, when I think of the word vitality, zest for life comes up. Like, I think of Melody skiing with you earlier this year. What are you about to be 70, 71? I see members chasing their grandkids, playing with their kids, showing their kids up. My kids, I did the hurdles maybe it was last summer, and they were amazed. And so vitality, I think of this like that's to like get into life and not just be on the sidelines. To get in the pool, to take that hike. How many members have shared different adventures, Blair hikes? You can't do that if you're not taking care of yourself. You've got to be training all year long for the adventures of life. So vitality is having that zest for life. And I think, it's important that we train that way, and we're not saying, oh, I'm just getting older, this is supposed to hurt. this is supposed to happen. Like, yes, let's be real, things like can happen. Maria and I were joking, like, oh, I didn't know you get where you go to bed and that's the most dangerous activity you did for the day. And you wake up. But the thing is that we get over that, right? We know how to train our body. So I think of vitality, such a important word. So these are what I consider character traits of VFitters. Ownership. You are owning your choices, your journey. Nobody can do it for you. Showing up is an inside job. So a VFitter who's evolving has ownership. Then the one, longevity. This goes with vitality. So longevity is, to me, and again, you can have different takes on these. I want to live a life that's full and rich and meaningful and healthy, and not just the number on my number of days. Of course, I want to live a long life, but if for some reason my time should come, I want to know that I got the quality out of my days, that I lived a life of purpose and passion. I set an example. I lived for my family, for others. So that longevity, we're working so that we have a quality of life as long as we possibly can, right? Women, this is really interesting and amazing. Women now are living up to 40% of their life after menopause. This is after menopause. So most of our demographic is either going to be approaching perimenopause. It can start in the mid-30s. It can go all the way through the 40s into the 50s. This is why this is a big age range through menopause. And even had Ami, one of our members who is in women's health, like for so long, been doctors and they're still not trained a lot. Make sure you ask your doctors. We had a great podcast. If you didn't listen to it the other week, as one of our workshops. Women are living 40 to 50% of their life still after menopause, but most women that are not taking care of themselves are living a very low quality of life. They're on a lot of medications. They've got a lot of injuries or bone density. And so we can change that. Like there was so much showing that we can change that longevity on, you know, whatever part you're at. The first, and I talked to too, like those of us that have not gone into that phase yet, stronger and better, well-rounded you are going into that hormonal shift of life, the better you're going to fare through it for the most part. It kind of is the same thing. If you get injured, or have an illness, a disease, a surgery, we know when you're healthier, you're going to do better. And so this has to be our motivation. This has to be our why every day. And then I love this word value, especially VFitters. We tend to give a lot. We tend to be very servant heart, sometimes give too much, more than we have. But to value that you too are worthy. Your health deserves to be prioritized. And then the E is for empowerment. I love this one. This is that confidence and courage. When you show up to work out consistently, when you push yourself, I'm going to share some new formats that are coming out. When you push yourself outside your comfort zone, when you get those heavier weights, when you come to the floor, Jessica, and finally get on your toes and try some plank row backs, that's empowering. Like that is something that you worked really hard for. So I think to remember that this is not a short-term game, that we are building confidence and most importantly, resilience for that when life sucks all the time, you don't just give up. So many people just, they can't handle the hard. And that's, I think, so much about exercise is not just the physical, it's the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. And then that last S is for strength. So strength, we want strong muscles. We want strong bodies. We want strong bones. We want a brain, talk about like a brain that continues to think and function, articulate, a heart that can work. But true strength also comes in your ability, like I just said, to show up, to do the hard things, to be there for the people, to go after scary, exciting new things, to take the trip, to, I think strength comes in so much more than just the physical, but it's hard to have those other areas of strength if we don't have if we haven't built the physical strength, because that idea of continuing to show up is not easy. And that's the only way you can build strength. The only way. You don't get to bank strength. You don't get to do whatever you're doing, even with your mind, mental strength, any strength, you have to continually pour into it. And so as we go forward in VFit, you know, accountability, community, fun, like that stuff is still core to VFit. And we know that, but we want to get a little deeper. And some of the changes, I'll go into that. I don't want to say changes because we're not cutting classes, we're not doing any of that. We are bringing on 4 new class formats that my brain hurts from trying to Tetris the schedule. I've always schedule's been the hardest thing to manage at VFit, hands down, because I've always looked at it across. Like if you come to 6 a.m. every day, I want to make sure that you're getting a different type of workout each day or complementing workouts. If you take 2 classes in a row, I want to make sure that they complement each other. If you're someone that kind of hodgepodges all over, you really got to take that on your own, because the schedule isn't necessarily built that way. It works, but we can't know when anyone's going to come or not come. And so there are about 15 or 16 classes being swapped out for these new formats. We try not to mess with any of the top 10 formats. We're still going to have our dance. You'll see, I'll get the schedule updated in the next day or two. I think everyone's going to be, we didn't like change a yoga class with a HIIT class. Like I tried to really keep the uniformity, but I tried to go even deeper into these formats. And with that, so one thing we want, we're up leveling is 4 very specific new formats that I think you're going to be excited about. I'll share here in a second. I would like, and if you remember, a few of you have already stepped forward, so this is the power of the team. I would like to host a monthly specialty workshop or special event. So last month, no, this month, what day are we? Who are we? We had our healthy hormone happy hour, and again, it's recorded. And Victoria is going to be doing a dressing kind of styling guide for us. Anyone else need help with that? I mean, this is good, but that's not all I wear. We're working on something for July. And so throwing in a special event for members, this is all part of your membership. Other things, we will continue with Sherry's program. We're reformatting that. Those of you that were part of 3F50, it's going to shift to 3F40 or 35. I don't know, we haven't figured out exactly, but we're reformatting that into more of like a quarterly challenge. Those are longer classes, a little bit more education in it, bring you more, just more specific piece in the areas of how we can get that strength, vitality, and longevity even more as I don't like the word age, but I haven't found a better word for that. And there should be nothing scary about that word age. Like you get to every morning, my first line in my journal is like, thank you God for today. Like if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be a day older. So, another thing that we want to, Paul, and this is more for you guys when you're referring friends and family, this is really important. I've really studied trends and what keeps people successful and what keeps people going the long haul. And when life gets tough, like that's something I spend a lot of time studying in our, when we're tracking classes and attendance and people coming and going. And being connected to community is without a doubt probably the #1 marker on the score sheet of how to stay consistent. So those of you that have done My Zone, different challenges, even Yango, some of those lower entry ones, the accountability group, like you don't have to do everything, but I really encourage you. It could be just in the Facebook group or in other ways. When we have community, it's so important. So what we want to revamp our kind of onboarding and referral program. And that's still being a little bit developed. So bear with me on that, but it would look like for your referrals, we want to do more of a one-on-one session, complimentary for them, to really give them a roadmap to work with, whether they come to VFit or not, but give them a roadmap for their health, because most likely they're consuming a lot of information or something's not sticking. And so we want to get a lot more personal, have a brand new 90-day. So when someone joins, they're committing to a more personal 90-day program. And then for referrals, we want to offer you guys different one-on-one sessions that you can earn, whether it comes to nutrition, mindset, yoga therapy, the different expertise that our trainers have. And so we want to, again, give and serve more, because be here in another 10 years, in another 20 years. I said one of my dreams of VFit is the first member that we celebrate their 99th birthday on. Like, how cool is that going to be? And so, as a leader, it is important that I'm continuing to evolve and move with the changing needs. So, let me see. Okay, I think I talked about that. So here's the workshops, special events, new class formats, some quarterly challenges, more focus. So a lot of what we're bringing now is more focus on strength training. I want to be very clear though, and this is something I'm very, very passionate and believe firmly in. Strength training is super important, especially as women. They're finding so much about it, being able to progressively increase our weights, to do less reps at a heavier weight. I believe in all that. We're bringing more of that to the studio. But what I don't want anyone to think is there's a one way to be all you need is strength. I've seen a lot of people, it's kind of like when the CrossFit thing became really popular, like, know that you need everything we offer. You absolutely still need your recovery classes. We're going to still have a bunch of those. You need your bar and your balance work. Like that is your reactive muscles from falling, from hurting, from getting an injury, and just your brain and your body connected. We need some longer state cardio. Like, you need some endurance, especially if you are someone that wants to go, sorry, the dog is crying at me, on a hike. So don't think like we're just going to get specific in one area. I'm going to increase our strength area because a lot of you have been asking for this, and I want you here. So I'm going to, but I don't want you to discount. We've really looked at the schedule. So if you take a 6 a.m. class, you're still going to get these other things. We're not changing every single time slot. We're going to start with what we have and then work from there. So with that being said, I might get kicked off in 5 minutes. The 4 new formats: upper body and HIIT, lower body and HIIT, and restore, and greatest hits. Now, we have some full body, some circuits, some other classes that combine the whole body. But if you are someone that is really interested in strength gains, it helps to separate the lower and upper body, because most likely your upper body can handle a little bit lighter weights than your lower body. And so we want to empower you. You don't have to have heavy as relative. You can build up, but we're going to really specify and break up. And so there's going to be times throughout the week where if you do Wednesday, Friday, you're going to get one of each of those. If you do 2 in a row. So we've kind of really tried to make it so everyone can try to get some of these. I would recommend at least an upper and lower body. There's quite a few going on to the schedule. Body's going to be the same. And then the science is showing when we strength train and then we end with some HIIT, it's more effective for everything: muscle building, metabolism, hormones. So the last 10 minutes of those classes will be some true HIIT sessions. And those of you that did Sherry's class, it's like 30 seconds of all out work with a full minute break. So those classes are going to be about 20 minutes of strength, followed by about 7 minutes of true HIIT. So one's going to be focused upper body, one lower. The trainers are excited. They might have a whole push-pull set for the month for you. They might have a different circuit that you'll do the whole month. So our goal is to increase strength and get us comfortable adding a little bit more weight to our workouts. And then you can take that into your other classes. So that's upper and lower body. Core and restore. Your core is such a huge part of your body, shoulders to shorts, front to back. So that class is going to be about 20 minutes of core work. It can be standing core work, body weight core work, floor core work, abdominal core work, back core work, just a really low impact focus on the core, and modifications for all levels, and ending with 10 minutes of stretching. So we'll lengthen out. And then greatest hits. I had to have one fun name in there. My team's like, just call the classes what they are. I was like, okay, but I like to get creative. Greatest hits. So that's going to be super fun. And we're going to mix up the kind of interval training you're going to have. That's a cardio class. And that's going to be, it could be Tabata, it could be mashup, it could be waterfalls, it could be all sorts of different things. But the trainers are going to have fun with mixing up more higher intensity intervals. So still come to your willpower. We still have glow and flow. We still have flow fusion, cardio blast. Like, you're still going to get all of that stuff. but yeah, we're excited. We're excited to just really, you know, in on how we serve, who we serve, and really make a difference because this team is so special and amazing. And you guys have shown by us doing some of these other programs and that this is where you are interested in growing into. And so I would hate if someone's like, I love VFit, there's not enough of this or that. So all of this will be recorded. If you're in the EBC crew, we are doing something special. I don't know if anyone here, but maybe they're listening. That's such a very loyal and special but smaller group, the 3 a.m. So you'd have to be an East Coaster. We're doing one of each of the classes, or three, upper, lower, and core. And they're going to do it kind of as a 9-week segment. And so we're going to kind of play with that for the East Coast. These will start next week. It is going to start. So I got my workout. I almost have, if you want a sneak peek at the descriptions, look at next week's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 a.m. class. I have 3 of them loaded. I'm working on the last one. And then my Ask the Trainer team. This has been such Tetris. It's taken a long time, but I think everyone's going to be really happy with the changes and just a little bit more education and empowerment, but not losing who we are because we have to have fun. We're not just here to be like, this is what the bicep does. And when you experience, like, let's talk about, okay, that bicep's going to let you come into your house with 1 load of groceries and you don't need to make that extra trip to the car. And, so it's going to be fun. We're still going to dance. We're still going to do we're not losing any formats. We're just shifting a few. So next week, okay, Sarah said, bring on the education. It is empowering to know the why. Oh, thank you, Katie. What a good question. And I'm going to be honest, I do want to grow VFit. I feel like we've kind of been at the same kind of 250 membership level, which is fine. It's amazing, but I know we can help more women. And what that means is that people are coming and going. And that's more what breaks my heart, in all honesty. And the ones that are successful and like all of you here and consistent, it just clicks. And so it's about speaking to what people are looking for, right? As we get older, like priorities change on what's important. I know that for me in my life, like probably my goals in my 30s were pretty different than they're starting to be now as my kids are getting older and life just feels like it's going so fast. And really placing a value on that, seeing also like parents and loved ones battling for their health and fighting for their health, and seeing our VFitters even go through some really hard things and seeing how well they do because they are strong and they've built that resilience.